Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, HollywoodShono here, about to give you another Gods of Rome video. In this video, we're going to be doing Chapter 2-1 in the Egypt Rising timed act known as Crescent Rising. Now, currently in the Journey Chapter 2-4 in easy difficulty, you're currently bugged at 97%, and this is an issue a lot of people have been complaining about in YouTube videos as well as on the Gods of Rome Facebook page. So hopefully before the Egypt Rising event is over with, they'll have a fix for that. For right now, I can accept that, but in 21 days or whenever the event is over, I definitely cannot. So in this video, we're going to be doing the full clear of Crescent Rising, and like we've seen at the end of the first chapter, most of the ways have 3 pathways. We're using 1 of each color. And as you can see, our 4-star Prometheus is actually maxed out for rank 2 of 5, and we do have a bonus because of Hippolyta. So a little bit more health is definitely good. Here we are. I must not tip the scales of fate in these lands, Ascender, even if it is to our favor. So you must lead us from now on. I will guide you to Cleopatra, but she must be swayed by your hand, and your hand alone. Now, as you guys know, Cleopatra is the event for the weekly event, as well as the second season in PvP. And let me tell you, 150,000 really sucked, because I actually landed in top 30% this week instead of 5%. So you definitely want to farm as high as you can. Usually about 180 is good, but definitely don't sit at 150 and think that's enough. And who exactly is this Cleopatra? Cleopatra is one of my chosen, a mighty queen and a fierce warrior. She also possesses the power to break Osiris' spell over my dear friend Anubis, who is probably going to be next week's event. So you can see the layout of the map is fairly simple. What does complicate it is this little pathway on the right side, because that little island is like 5%, but it's the difference between 2 clears and 3. So we're going to go up against the purple demigod mummy in our first encounter, and who's best for that? Good old Prometheus at 2,123 power. Now we try to have 1 of every class in the fights. That way, if you get a advantageous matchup, meaning blue fights red, although Zeus can't really do much. You got orange against blue. You got green against orange. You have red going up against purple, and you have purple going up against green. That's basically how the matchups go. If you have 1 of each, you shouldn't have a problem with any of these fights. And I usually like to try to use the class advantages, except we can't do that against blue. So we're going to start off by going the easy pathway on the left side. You can see we have a Cyclops. We're going to use Hippolyta in this case. Now, Cyclops does have a little bit more stats, but it shouldn't be a huge problem. We shouldn't need to heal. And we have been putting a little emphasis on our 4-star fighters lately, just so we don't have to heal as much on hard difficulty of events and for nectar farming, especially since we need tier 3 nectar in order to upgrade 4-star fighters to rank 3. Cyclops is at 3 bars. He's not going to use a level 3 Ultra. Here we're going to YOLO the Sword Swipe, and we don't get out of the way of the charge, and we don't get out of the way of that. And that stun's going to do a little bit of work. Luckily, he's not reacting all that smart, so he can't get out of the corner very easily. We're going to try to get rid of him here. He's probably going to use his Ultra, and we can just get out of the way of that, and Hippolyta will get the victory against Cyclops. Alright, so now we have Adagia in our third encounter, and now I don't feel like using Hippolyta, even though she probably could have a chance of doing it. Not very likely, down half health from stun. So Prometheus is still in good shape. We're just going to have to deal without the class bonus. We've actually been working up our 2-star Cleopatra, as we have been doing in events, because as you know, next multiplayer season, Cleopatra is going to be the 3x bonus, just like Perseus is right now. But I'm sure you're going to see Ra in there as well. Probably is the 2x bonus, as Daji eliminated. Alright, so next up we have a Spartacus. So we can use Daji against her. As you can see, Spartacus has slightly more attack, but with the bonus, obviously not as much. He's going to waste a bar of Ultra there on nothing as Spartacus is bleeding away. So we got for a level 2 Ultra. That should be enough, and Spartacus is gone. So now we have a blue mummy, and we can use Massinissa for that. Prometheus still in really good shape, and probably will be for a lot of these fights. That extra bit of damage makes a big difference. Pacify is slowing down this Athena-like character, but when is he going to pull the trigger on the Ultra? There it is. I'm going to try to YOLO ours, and Mummy is in big trouble. Gets off a couple shots. Massinissa takes out the blue Mummy. Alright, so next up we have an Achilles. This will be an easy fight, and then we'll have a 16-18 Talos. Down goes Achilles. Alright, so now in our final battle we have Talos with 1618. Should not be a problem for Prometheus as he's only down about 1300 health. And that's why it's pretty important to use the class advantage fighters over just one specific fighter, because there's a chance you get them worn down too much and then you have to spend energy or use reserves. Talos is at 2 bars. He can't do much damage if you get far away from him when he does that level 2 Ultra, so that's really not that much damage. As you can see, Prometheus is doing a pretty good job keeping Talos at bay, not able to do much. That's going to hit for a little bit, but it's way too late. And Talos is about to get eliminated. So for completing the first part of Crescent Rising, you will see 5 gems and 370 gold. Decent amount of crafting materials as well. Alright, so now we're going to clear the right side of Crescent Rising. And even at 11 and 1200, these 4-star fighters are doing a really good job against him. And yes, I'm very lucky to actually have 5 of them. We also have a Julius as well, but I actually choose not to use them in case we have to deal with a God class. We don't have to swap out. That way we have all of the colors. And until we actually need to worry about healing, I don't care. So the Hippolyta Mummy gets eliminated. Prometheus barely taking any damage. A couple people in my alliance are very jealous that I have a 4-star Daji. I actually got the character during that buy 10 save 5 event, as it was pretty cool. So now we have a purple shade. Who is he going to resemble? Looks like, I think it's Perseus. It's Belus. Expect to see the 2-bar Ultra. There it is. And down goes the Shade for the easy victory in the second fight of the second clear. Alright, so we're going to use Hippolyta against Cyclops. soon as in action on the left side, we're going to try it on the right side now. Hopefully this should be able to do one fight no problem, and even if not, the opponent's going to be severely weakened. Trying to go for a heavy attack there never works. And we also call Hippolyta Boob Sweat because her barbarian armor does not cover the bottom of her boob. So if you ever hear the term boob sweat, that is why. Stupid name, but I don't care. I'll try to light attack and we get caught with the combo. Luckily, no stun. Transfusion is good. Mostly played defensively there because we knew the Ultra was coming and we did not want to risk getting stunned. That time we don't get out of the way and Hippolyta gets stunned. As you see right there, pretty dangerous ability. Stuns are very strong in this game, as are life manipulation abilities. But Hippolyta does get out of the fight victorious. So now we have a Poseidon. We're going to be using Massinissa. Heavy attack is no good. Now, Poseidon's ultras are unavoidable, so you have to be really careful how to react around it. Massinissa not doing so well against Poseidon, but I think Massinissa is not a very good card to begin with. Sometimes I get lucky with him, but most of the time he's just too slow and easy to avoid. So when I'm going up against Massinissa, it's usually a pretty easy win, but he's still a 4-star fighter, and we still need a hero. So the next clear, we're going to go on the left side. This time we're going to fight Massinissa head-on with Daji. And Massinissa with the Ultra Drain Rage does give Daji a little bit of extra rage too. I think we're good enough here. Yep, down goes Massinissa. Daji still has 2/3 of her health left. So next up we got the Blue Mummy. We're going to try Massinissa again. Down quite a bit of health, so no shame in losing. Especially against the Athena Mummy. Level 1 Ultra is possible to get out of the way if you're quick enough, but the level 2 is unavoidable. That Pacify will help though. So you might try to go for a level 1 Ultra. If we can get to 2 bars, we have a decent shot at getting rid of it. That spear is going to hurt though. Can't get out of the corner. And somehow Massinissa survives. So I'll make it significantly easier for Prometheus in the final 2 fights. Kind of just waiting for 2 bars. That's perfect elimination. Down goes Achilles easily. And now for the second clear, we have a Talos and Prometheus going at it. And as we saw last time, Prometheus had no trouble dealing with Talos. Swipe in, get out, swipe, repeat, and easy game. Might use a level 2 Ultra. We can't get out of the way. And we don't block it. Here we go. Prometheus is level 3 Ultra. Probably going to use a level 1 here. Yes, he does. AI in this game is not the greatest. I think it does need a little bit of work. 5-year-old could probably handle this even better in WWE Immortals for AI. I think that game is the only one that even comes close to Gods of Rome. Gods of Rome AI is probably the worst out of all the fighting games that I've seen. Very predictable and super easy to deal with. Even if it may not seem like that because I do take a lot of damage, the moves are pretty predictable. And of course you can corner spam people, and I hate doing that, but yes, it is possible to just light attack corner spam. So for the final clear, it's basically the same thing as we have been doing. We could also try a full clear with Prometheus and see how much damage he takes. I don't see the real harm in that, as Talos is not hard to deal with. Alright, so we got another purple mummy. Actually, it's a shade. I don't know why I keep calling it mummies. Just weird shades are not tied to any class, even though they have the character abilities. Prometheus back to full after healing twice. So again, we're going to try this time around with only Prometheus and see how well we do. Level 2 Ultra almost takes out Cyclops. Have to get out of the way. Unfortunately, Ultra spamming, probably going to get a stun. Luckily, we do not. So even though we're weak against Poseidon, the game still wants us to use him over Massinissa, and I'm really not sure why that is. Ultra, we predicted that one because we were that 2-buck. Getting quite a bit of recovery, which is nice. And rage reduction is going to suck because Poseidon will get off another Ultra. And Poseidon eliminated. Last clear we went Massinissa on the right. This time we're going to go to the left and deal with the blue mummy. Thank you, Jason LM14, for the like on Instagram. Appreciate you, bro. I don't see using the class disadvantage when you have a class advantage. I never understood that. Yes, they might do a lot more damage, but they're going to take more damage too. Maybe somebody on YouTube can better understand where I don't. So we were waiting for that. And the mummy's going to get eliminated, so we have 2 fights left in Crescent Rising before we 100% it. And of course the advantage, the class advantages with Prometheus, gonna steal more health. Now we just have to watch for the level 2 Ultra. I think we healed more than we took damage in this fight too. uses a level 1 Ultra. I'm not sure why. Again uses a level 1 Ultra. Again, I'm not sure why you would do that. Now it makes a little more sense. Prometheus barely able to survive as we played horribly that time. Whereas the first few times against Talos were really good. And for completing Crescent Rising on hard difficulty, you will receive 10 gems and 740 gold. So if you like this video on Egypt Rising Chapter 2-1 Crescent Rising, please give this video a like rating, comment, subscribe, share this video amongst your friends, and as a favorite, check out my other Gods of Rome videos playlists, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, which are all HollywoodShono, and expect Raw and Perseus to be in the next multiplayer event as well. Have a wonderful day, kids.
www.youtube.com/HollywoodShono. Subscribe, bitches!